Awesome. So most people are overweight, right? 77% of America is overweight. Over a third of America is obese. They're living dead. They're living like zombies. They're bloated. They have a whole bunch of excess food in their stomach. They're foggy and they're anxious, right? Thinking that this is normal life, right? But it really isn't. It's just because of what they've been consuming that's causing them to live this way. It's actually your gut health, your emotions, and your beliefs that are holding you back. And so on this call, we're going to be going over the truth around energy, healing, performance, and resetting your body, mind, and life, vitality, and confidence and clarity. So that's what we're going to be covering in this call. My promise for you guys is today I'm going to give you the tools to reset your body and mind. I'm going to give you the tools to reset your body and mind strategies so you could heal your gut, master your mindset and emotions, and create breakthroughs in relationships, mental limits, and more live with more energy and confidence. Cool. Alex is rolling in. So, setting the tone, this isn't for everyone, right? Not everyone wants to live up to their full potential and live their purpose and get a six pack and drop body fat and live healthier and have more energy. Some people are soft, some people are lazy, some people are complacent, right? This is for the high achievers that want to create a higher level of thinking, feeling, and performing, and they want to live up to their full potential. So if that's you, you're in the right place. If you feel like there's something inside of you that's pulling you to be more, pulling you to be better, then you're in the right place. So again, this is for is high achievers, high performers, people that want more energy, people that want more control of their life, more control of their emotions, more control of their body, and want more out of life and want more purpose, right? So if that's you. Again, you're in the right place. So why now? Living with a sense of urgency. Why now? Because I talked to so many people and they put things off for a few weeks, a few months, a few years, a few decades, right? And they don't take action. So why is now the time to apply everything that we're talking about? Is summer is almost here. We're out here, I'm in the beach. You guys know I'm about to go to Miami and go on a cruise. But summer is only 2 weeks away, right? So there's a sense of urgency. Life is not waiting for you, as you guys know, especially a good amount of you guys are older than me. You guys know that time passes by like that, right? It doesn't wait for no one. It doesn't wait for no one to help you build a six-figure business or to have awesome relationships or to get in amazing shape. It just keeps on going, and it seems the older you get, the faster life goes by. It seems the older you get, life just gets busier and busier, and time just goes by faster. So this is the youngest you're ever going to be right now in this moment. You're only getting older, and time's ticking, right? Yeah, Helena, right? Yeah, exactly. Or Helen. Um, Helena is actually a place in Montana I live next to. I live in North Idaho, East Washington. Helena is not too far in Montana. So that's why it keeps on ringing in my head. But you have two choices. You could keep cruising and keep comfortable and complacent doing what you're doing right now, or you could decide to change. And we all know, if you want something different, you need to do something different. And more importantly, you need to be somebody different. So, who am I for you guys who don't know who I am? A lot of you guys are my paying clients. A lot of you guys are past clients, current clients, future clients, or you're somebody connected to one of those people. I'm a high performance life transformation coach. I focus on a lot of mindset and fitness and health is my bread and butter. I've been doing it for over 6 years. I've coached over 1,000 clients. First, I was a personal trainer, and then I've been doing online coaching for over 5 years now. I coach, as you guys can tell, a lot of real estate professionals, a lot of CEOs, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of financial advisors. Again, I focus on high achievers and high performers because they're into personal growth, because they're all about leveling up and living up to their full potential. And so that's why I typically work with those people. I help them overcome burnout, rebuild their body, and realign their mind and their body with their purpose. And I've invested over $100,000 into myself, into different personal development coaches. I've worked with Tony Robbins. I currently work with Tony Robbins, Eric Thomas. If you guys know Eric Thomas, the greatest motivational speaker in the world. I've worked with all sorts of different coaches, investing over $100,000 into myself so I could actually be more valuable to add value to my clients and to people. And I'm a certified nutrition coach, personal trainer, certified performance coach, and a certified life coach. So I have certifications to back up this as well. So it's not just theory, it's actual, application as well. So the three pillars that we're covering today, love it. I love it, Sean. The three pillars that we're covering today is reclaiming your energy. Cool. more people hopping in. Number one, reclaiming your energy. Number two, mastering your emotions, your mind, and your intimate relationships. Because we're covering the information I attended with the Tony Robbins. It's a $5,000 event called Life Mastery. So we're covering topics they covered. It was day 2 and 3 on reclaiming your energy, mastering your emotions, mind, and intimate relationships. And number three is living in peak alignment with your purpose. So those are the three pillars that we're going to be covering today. So first, I'm going to share a story. So the story is this is a 5-day detox, and we're actually going to be going over detoxing in the training today. What we do with Life Mastery, again, it's $5,000 if you guys were just going to sign up for the event itself. I'm part of like a $20,000 program where I get, to go to a lot of his events. Um, but it's a 5-day event and you're doing a 5-day cleanse. And I only say that, guys, so you guys understand the value in it. There was like 2,200 people signed up, and it's just to understand the information is valuable. And obviously, the more something you pay for something, the more value you find in it and the more you apply it. So what we did during the event was a 5-day cleanse. Or 5-day cleanse. And the difference between detoxing and cleansing is simply detoxing, you're typically fasting and just drinking detox drinks and teas. You guys, I'm not a professional in that, I'm not an expert in that specifically. Do your own research if you want to do it. I would encourage it. Detoxing can be great. We did a 5-day cleanse. So a 5-day cleanse is nothing but organic, preferably organic. You can do normal, but there's pesticides, so preferably organic vegetables and fruits for 5 days. For my client Brian, for Kashan, or well, Kashan, you probably want to build game weight, but Alex, Brian, if you want to lose body fat, I lost 7 pounds doing this cleanse in 5 days. So if you guys want to speed it up, you guys will lose a good amount of weight. But that's not really the purpose of detoxing and cleansing. The purpose is throughout your life, through water you drink, through the air you breathe, through meat, through dairy, through processed foods, through everything, your body has accumulated chemicals and toxins inside its organs, kidneys, colon, its cells. And the whole point of a 5-day cleanse is to eat nothing but organic and fruits to drive all those neurotoxins, drive all those chemicals out of your body. And you guys know me as a fitness and health coach, as somebody who's really on a scale of 8 to 10 or 0 to 10, I would rate myself an 8, and I have a higher standard than most people. I felt like crap the first 2.5, 3 days. I don't know if kind of off. I don't know if my service. I live out here in the country, so sometimes my service can cut off. But
Sounds good.
okay, cool, cool, cool. Um, so the first 2.5 days, I felt like crap. So I told Alex the try this cleanse out. So I think it would be really beneficial for all of you guys. But the first few days, you might feel like crap, right? Because you got years of all these toxins and chemicals that you've built up in your body, and you have to drive all of them out. And it's not a fun or a good feeling process for the first couple days. And obviously, the more toxins and chemicals you have built up, the longer it's going to take. But by the time I was at the end of day 3, day 4, and day 5, I felt better than I ever felt. I felt phenomenal. I felt more mental clarity, more energy, naturally happier, naturally lighter, and just wanting to do more without no caffeine or stimulants or glucose or sugar. Like, no, I just felt great naturally, natural energy. So, that's a little bit of my story as far as detoxing. I highly recommend it. Um, Welcome, Keith. I love that you're here. So now I'm going to open up my notes and go into more about gut health specifically. So your gut is connected to your body, right? So what you're doing with cleansing is a lot of that's happening in your gut. It's your colon, right? It's your small and large intestine, where you're cleaning all that out through organic fruits and vegetables, right? And the reason that's important is your gut is connected to the rest of your body. It's really like your second brain because it produces up to 95% of serotonin, which is like your feel-good hormone, right? Which is like if you're like hugging somebody, serotonin's released. It's not the dopamine, it's not the pleasure hormone, but it's like a natural feel-good hormone. And so if you want to feel good, happy, right? Serotonin is an important thing. So sometimes people are depressed because their gut is messed up, right? It has nothing to do with, anything else. 50% of your dopamine, which is your feel-good hormone, right? Yeah, hey, because Sean likes serotonin. Hey, don't we all? Don't we just want to hug somebody right now? Just like, feel good. Dopamine is the hormone that's released during sex, during when you do like if you were to do drugs or alcohol. I'm not recommending that, but sugar, that you feel good, right? Working out, dopamine's released. It's your feel good hormones, your natural drug inside your system, right? So 50% of that's produced in your gut. So taking care of your gut is really important. And 70% of your immune system lives in your gut. Right. So if you want to prevent yourself from getting sick, I know Brian, like sometimes you get sick raising those kids, Alex, all got all those kids, playing around. Sometimes you get sick, right? So that's why it's important to take care of your gut health. And again, one of the things to do that is cleansing, right? So one of the promises we did a 5-day cleanse with the Life Mastery event, is I made a commitment that I'm going to do a cleanse every 90 days, every 3 months. Tony Robbins taught do that every 3 months at best, and at worst once a year. So I highly recommend everyone here at least tries out a 5-day cleanse once a year. Yeah. See, your kids are sick now. So if you don't want to get sick, maybe you should take care of your gut health, Alex. All right. So next, guys, we're gonna focus on so we're gonna go more into the principles of detoxing, right? So cleansing and rebuilding your liver. Seven principles of detoxification. So cleanse and rebuild your liver and colon, right? So doing the organic fruits and vegetables, right? Number two, super hydrate. So you're constantly, because you're not eating, you're drinking a lot more water. You're super hydrating. Three, you're getting a lot of helpful nutrients inside your body, right? Fresh, live, whole organic foods, right? So the first few days, you're driving a lot of those neurotoxins, all those chemicals out of your body, but you're replenishing your body with the nutrients it actually needs through organic fruits and vegetables. You're regulating your lymph system, right, which is your skin, is really important because it doesn't have muscles, right? So you need to regulate that. You can do that through cold plunges, rebounding, which is like jumping up and down. Tony Robbins is very known for jumping on a trampoline, right? You can do a dry skin brush, right? Cold showers. Sorry, my connection. I don't know. Hopefully it's good, guys. Out here in the country, like I said, I live out in the country, very peaceful. Um, Cool. Perform low impact exercise to flush out toxins. So this would be like walking, again, rebounding, jumping up and down, rebuilding a strong immune system. So again, we talked about how doing cleanses rebuilds your immune system. And so here's some quotes to build some new beliefs around this. Is this cleansing my body or clogging me? Is this cleansing me or clogging me? So if you're about to eat that big burrito, Brian, I love burritos too. I don't know if Eric is here. Eric is Hispanic or he's going to be watching the recording. Man, I love me a burrito. Big Mar, when I'm in Carson City, bro, when I'm in Reno, burrito all day. I love a burrito, but in reality, it's more so clogging you than it is cleansing you. And you actually can feel that after you eat a big meal, if it's lasagna or pizza or a burrito or a burger, you feel clogged. You feel less energetic. You feel less alive, right? Versus if you eat a salad with some, lean meat or just a salad or a fruit smoothie, like you feel more cleansed, you feel more rejuvenated, right? Another quote for you guys to remember. So the first one, is this cleansing me or clogging me? Is this cleansing me or clogging me? Is this cleansing me or clogging me? I'm saying it for repetition so it stays in your head. Number two, am I cleansing or de-cleansing my body right now? Ask yourself before you eat something, is this cleansing me or is this de-cleansing me? Right? So that again, this is the principles of detoxification. So it's not only in the 5-day cleanse, this is a new way of living after the fact, right? When you're eating something, is this clogging me or cleansing me? Is this cleansing me or de-cleansing me? Right? These are questions to ask yourself. So we talked about on our last call being intentional with everything you do. A lot of people aren't very intentional with the foods they put in their body, right? You don't just pour anything into your gas tank, do you? You don't pour water or milk or random bullcrap inside your tank, do you? Exactly. So why would you fill your body with random liquids and random foods and not expect for it to affect you, right? Just how you consume, if you consume alcohol or a drug, we could see how that changes your psychological, your mental space, right? We've all probably experienced that to a certain degree. If it's not with that, you've experienced it with food. But so you can see just by that consuming whatever alcohol or drug or even your experience with food, you see how it changes your perception of the world and how you feel. Well, it's the same thing with everything you eat and drink. So it's very important for you to be intentional with that. So again, Tony, so this is some stuff by Tony Robbins. Build up these toxins and chemicals over years in your body. If you feel like you have less energy than you should realize energy is natural. no matter how old you are, you should be naturally energetic. So if you're not naturally energetic and have lots of energy, it's your sleep is off, your food is off, your exercise is off, something's off in your body. That's why you don't have energy. Okay, it's not natural to have less energy as you get older. I know plenty of people. Again, my client Dan's here, 69 years old, trying to still getting a six pack, bruh. No excuse, right? So, uh, cool. So think about some of the symptoms of if you were to get poisoned, right? Think about it. My grandpa right now is going through cancer, right? He's getting going through chemo, right? And you're going through radiation. Chemo is basically poisoning the body. Again, this is his life decisions. He trusts traditional medicine. I'm more of a functional medicine type of person. I'd rather do everything in my power from now on until I'm old to avoid getting cancer in general. But likelihood, you need to realize 33% of Americans get cancer. So out of this call, one third of us statistically is going to get cancer, right? And it's in within your power to do things, if it's fasting, if it's cleansing, if it's eating a certain way, to avoid as much as you can within your control, avoid getting cancer, right? That's within your power as far as what you can control. So why did I mention that is because my grandpa's giving chemo is basically poison the body. Kills whatever cancer cells in the blood, but it's poison to the body. And so think about somebody who's poisoned. You think of somebody who's vomiting, diarrhea, headaches, muscle soreness, low energy, slows down, stomach ache, fatigue, foggy head, poor sleep, memory loss. Well, these are things that the everyday American faces because they're poisoning their body. They're poisoning their body, and so that's why I'm encouraging you guys to be much more intentional with what you're putting in your body, right? As far as your nutrition, because you could be poisoning your body, and that's why you have mental fog every single time after you eat a burrito or some pizza or whatever, right? You're poisoning your body. So we'll go over that at the end of the call as well. Some fun fact, smile. Poop. You should poop 1 to 2 feet of poop a day, and it should be 2.5 inches round, right? And it should float. Some fun facts about your poop. You can tell how healthy you are by if you're poop, how much you're pooping, what it looks like if it's floating or not. So that's a little funny poop fact for you guys. Okay. Um, all right, so we'll go into next. We're gonna go into posture. One little quick thing on posture for you guys. We've been doing this every single call. For you guys who are able to watch this and you can stand. If not, then just take a mental note. Um, we're going to be going, again, we've done this before, but I want to remind you guys again. If you guys are going to sit like Brian is in the car right now, or you're about to sit down and do a whole bunch of cold calls for your insurance or real estate business or, prospecting or whatever, you should do pigeon toe. So tilt your feet in, right? Boom. You don't want your feet like this. You want pigeon toe. Boom. Okay. That's going to activate your hips. And then you want to do some arm circles. Boom. You want to do reverse and forward. Do for about 5-10 seconds each, or 5 or 10 reps. What this is going to do is going to activate your upper back muscles, and doing the pigeon toe activates your glutes and your hip muscles, where you're going to have less upper and lower back pain while you're doing your prospecting, you insureds, agents, you real estate professionals, you entrepreneurs, right? Which is really important. Okay. Oh, Michael, if you had a question, you're unmuted. Um, cool. Next, we're gonna do mastering your emotions. Right? We talked about this on our last call with Tony Robbins teaches the triad. This is what I do with a lot of my clients with the results coaching, right? Is building your own personal triad. So now we're just gonna go over the overall concept. We've gone over it before, but you have to change your physiology, change your body, change your focus, and change your self-talk, your language, and the story you're telling yourself. So if you notice yourself in negative emotions, it's because of these things. So if you are in a negative place, if you're in frustration, depression, anxiety, apathy, right? If you want to change this, the first thing you need to do is change your body. If Haley's all pissed off because some person just cut her off and gave her the middle finger, right? I'm sure Helen, you've been there too. You've been there with us, right? Eric, you've been there. We've all been there. Alex, maybe somebody said something, or maybe you screwed in something wrong. You got shocked a little bit at work. Brian, somebody pissed you off. Some deal didn't go through. Some client, some other agent try to undercut your deal or whatever. Well, you know how it is. Something like that. We've all been there, and we're just like, fuck, right? Cuss. Remember what I taught you last call? Instead of saying fuck, right? Which I'm not saying necessarily. I'm not like, again, I got the Bible right here. I'm a saint, right? I'm perfect. I'm like Jesus. All right, I'm just kidding. Okay, none of us are perfect. We know this. But what we do know is, okay, I don't believe that cussing is bad in the sense it's how you use the word, right? But we have used the word in a bad way. Like, fuck that mother cutting me off, stealing my deal, right? Instead, we talked about this last call. Let's go fantastic, fantastic. Rewiring your brain every single time somebody cuts you off, and you're normally like, fuck, right? And you rewire it to fantastic, right? Because you are in control of your emotional state, right? Fudge, fudge. Yeah, say it in a funny way, something that's going to make you feel good, right? When you normally would use cuss words or whatever words to get in a negative frequency, a negative emotional state, anger and frustration, but you do something that's like makes you light and funny, right? Um, yeah, so absolutely. And so so you got the physiology and body, right? And so you need to change your body. Is the first step to change your emotional state. So if you are angry, sad, depressed, empathy, and a negative frequency, you need to change your physiology. That's a fancy word for changing your body. So that's doing some push-ups, that's doing some burpees, that's standing up, right chest up, sternum up, shoulders back, deep breathing. You need to change your body. That's first and foremost. Okay. Number two, you need to change your focus. What are you focused on? Are you focused on what's going right in your life or what's going wrong? Are you focused on are you focused on what you can control or what you can't control? Are you focused on the good what you can be grateful for or what you don't have enough of? Oh, I don't have enough clients. I don't have enough money. Man, I'm too much overweight, right? Versus focusing on, man, I've already lost 5 or 10 pounds. I've already made 20 grand or 30 grand or closed five real estate deals, 10 real estate deals, 10 insurance deals. I already have over a dozen clients. I already have. Are you focused on your lack or are you focused on what you already have? Right? Because that's going to dictate your emotional state. Are you focused on what you can control? Oh, boom. Are you focused on the economy, politics, what Donald Trump's doing, tariffs, the economy, the gas prices, your whatever? You're focused on that. Well, those are out of your control. So that's going to dictate, you're going to allow the world to dictate your internal state, or you're going to be like, no, you know what? That's that. That's what it is. I'm going to control what I can do, right? Focus. Number three is the story you're telling yourself about the situation. What is the meaning that you're doing behind it, right? And then lastly is the self-talk, right? So you're telling yourself a different story. Now instead of telling yourself a disempowering story about your financial position, your fitness and health, your relationships, your romance, you're telling yourself an empowering story. This is a great opportunity. This is a challenge for me to strengthen my character, to prove who I am, to develop, to grow, to build new skill sets, I'm grateful to even have the opportunity to make more money, to be an entrepreneur, to be a real estate professional, be an insurance agent, to live in America, to whatever. Like okay, I'm t telling myself a better story now. Self-talk. Oh man, I'm not good enough. I'm overweight. I look fat. I'm depressed. I'm angry. I'm broke. I'm whatever. Negative self-talk. Obviously, you never. I hate even saying those words to myself or even saying it out loud. I'm unstoppable, unshakable, unbreakable. I'm a force to be reckoned with. No, I'm undeniable. I'm capable of everything. I like positive self-talk, empowering self-talk is going to dictate your emotional state, right? And we can agree, Brian, Dan, Kashawn, Helen, Reno, Alex, all these beautiful people. When you go into a deal, for example, or let's say on a date, and you're in a negative frequency, negative emotional state, you have negative talk, negative self-talk, that date's probably not going to go so well. Maybe you're about to hang out with some friends. That's not going to go. You're not going to have a great time. You're about to go on vacation, go to the Bahamas and Miami and LA. You're about to party it up. But if you got negative self-talk and negative story, a negative body, you're not going to have a good time. You're about to go into a real estate deal or insurance deal or sales call. And if you have negative self-talk and a negative emotional state, you're most likely not going to close that deal, right? Because it's all about transfer of energy. If you got negative energy, you're going to get negative results. So you got to have positive emotions, positive mindset, right? So that's where we're going. Your focus equals your feelings. What you're focused on equals your feelings. Again, are you focused on what you can control or you can't? Are you focused on what's going well in your life, what you can be grateful for, or what you don't have enough of? Focus equals feeling. Mood metering. This is a tool in your tool belt. So the first we just taught is the triad, right? Tool on your tool belt. You got your body psychology or your physiology, boom. Then you got your focus, right, is on this side. Right, if you guys are taking notes, you write a triangle. You got your body and psychology at the bottom. You got boom on the left side. You got your focus. What are you focused on? And then this side, the right side, you got your story slash self-talk or meaning slash language, right? Whatever sounds better for you. But that's a tool in your tool belt to begin to apply anytime you're in a negative frequency, negative emotional state. Number two is the mood meter. This several times. How you guys know, I'll tell you guys, give you two examples. If you guys want to improve your finances, you probably need to check your bank account more, right? You probably need to check how much money is going in and out, going out. If you start checking your bank account every single day, you're gonna put more. It's like the quote Tony Robbins talks about. Every self-guru, Think and Grow Rich, Jim Rohn, all everyone, right? Where attention goes, energy. Put it in the comments. Energy. You guys know where attention goes, energy flows, right? So if you put more energy or attention towards your bank account, what's coming in, what's coming out, guess what? You'll probably be more disciplined. You'll probably be better about how you spend money. You'll probably focus on increasing your income. In business, as a real estate professional, a real estate broker, Brian, I love Brian, Kashawn, love Kashawn, real right insurance, Helen, right Michael as a luxury real estate professional, Alex getting into real estate investing, right? All of you beautiful people and all the things, right? If you want to focus on growing your business, what do? You focus on metrics. You focus on, oh, how many appointments closed, how many dials, how many calls, how many contacts, how many leads. You focus on all these metrics, right? Where attention goes, energy flows. So if you want to improve it, you put more attention towards your metrics and improving those metrics, right? If you want to lose weight, like Alex, part of my program, he helping him lose weight. Big Mar, we just talked about helping you lose weight, right? If you want to lose weight, what you need to have attention towards your macros, your calories, your step count, your body weight, stepping on the scale more, right? You start putting more attention to these numbers, these metrics for your health. Guess what? It's going to naturally improve and you're going to get better results. So the reason I'm using these analogies is how about your emotions? Because Tony Robbins says your quality of your life is the quality of your emotions. You could be a multimillionaire with the most sexy wife or sexy husband, right? For you ladies out there, with the most beautiful kids living in the Bahamas or Miami or LA, San Diego. But if you're constantly living in frustration, anger, depression, apathy, selfishness, right? That's the quality of your life, even though you have the beautiful external things. But you could have somebody who's humble and their external results, maybe they don't have a wife, maybe they don't have a spouse, maybe they don't have kids, maybe they don't have make the greatest amount of money. But if they're living from a higher frequency of love, abundance, gratitude, and just living in this beautiful state, these beautiful emotions, they have a higher quality of life, even though they don't got the fancy, nice external things. Now, obviously, I'm not saying to be Buddha or, just be like Jesus, right? And just be like, escape the external world and just say, "Hey, I don't want a family. I just want to be at peace internally and one with God." I'm not saying that exactly. I'm saying we want the external things, but we also want to be in a beautiful state. We want to live in abundance and gratitude and love and contribution and one with the divine, one with God, and one with people and love people, right? We want to be at the higher frequency of higher emotions than the negative ones. And so one way you can focus on improving that is using the tool called the mood meter. And the mood meter is checking in with your emotions every day and even multiple times a day, right? So at 8 a.m., okay, at 8 a.m., where am I on a scale of 1 to 10 or negative 10 to plus 10 emotionally? Where am I? I'm a 5. Okay. Check in again. Oh, at noon, where am I at? Oh, I'm at a negative 3. Huh. Okay. Why? Okay. What am I focused on? Where's my body at? Okay. Boom. Okay, 5 o'clock. Okay, I'm at a 7. Okay, why? All right. Okay, boom. I'm at a 3. Okay, you get what I'm saying. And now you're okay, now you're like, why am I feeling this way? And again, where attention goes, energy flows. Now you're going to get more self-aware, right? Self-awareness. And now you're in a position to start what? Utilizing the first tool we just talked about, the triad. Okay, if you notice you're at a 2 or a 3 or a 0 or a -2 or a -5, right? And we can figure out how to quantify these by actually having different emotions tied to what a -3, -5, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 7, what they actually mean. A 10, what does a 10 mean, right? Maybe 10 is enlightenment, 9 is gratitude, 8 is abundant love, right? There's a whole bunch of different ways to define these higher emotions and these negative emotions. But now you realize, okay, you bring more self-awareness. What about number two? Now you start utilizing the triad. Okay, I'm in a -3. Let me change my body. Boom. Let me do some jumping jacks. Let me dance. Let me dance. Okay, okay, what am I grateful for? I'm grateful for my mother, my father. I'm grateful for God. I'm grateful for my health, my breath. I'm grateful for the clients I have, the money I'm making. Oh, the money in my bank account. I'm grateful for, oh, I have food, I have water. Okay, now what am I doing? My story, I'm telling myself, man, I'm empowered. I'm grateful. I live in America. I'm making moves. I have a beautiful family. Okay, I'm a winner. I'm capable. I can do this. I can lose the weight. I can make the money. I can build the business. I can have the relationship. Boom, just in the matter of 60 seconds, watch how your state changes. So I'm telling you guys, again, we went over this last time. These things intellectually you guys might understand, but it won't change your life until you put it into practice every day, right? Like Michael's on, my high level program. Brian's on my fitness program. Alex is on my fitness program. Kashawn's on my personal development program, but we're doing his fitness goals. Big Mar, we talked about reaching your fitness goals. Eric, you joined my fitness program. So what do we know? You're not going to get buff by reading about push-ups, by understanding about bench press and squat, and understanding about macros. No, you're going to lose the body fat and build the muscles by actually hitting the gym, right, Brian? Brian hits the gym 4 o'clock every morning, right? That's how you get the muscles. You actually put in the work, right? You actually have discipline, consistency. So these tools you might intellectually understand, but until you actually practically implement them on a daily basis, that's when it'll begin to change your life. Right. So again, those two tools will dramatically change your life as far as mastering your emotions. Again, the triad, change your physiology, your body, change your focus, change your story and self-talk. Okay. And number two, the mood meter. Check in with yourself several times a day. Where am I at? Am I a -10 to a 10, -10 to a 10? Where am I at and why? Okay. And then this one I have right here on my desk. Ask yourself this question. What do I need to do within myself or my environment to level up my mood and emotions? Again, I'll say it. What do I need to do within myself or my environment to level up my mood and emotions? Now, ask this when you do the quality quantifier as far as your emotions, the mood meter, right? Ask yourself if you're at a 2 or a 5 or a 7 or a -5 and you want to improve your emotions, you'd rather live at a 10. You'd rather be high as a cloud, one with Jesus, one with God, in the divine, in love, in gratitude, in whatever you believe in. You're one connected with the universe and God, and you're like happy as a dog, right? Okay. Ask yourself, what do I need to do within myself or my environment to level up my mood and emotions? And then okay, I need to change my physiology, my body. I need to change my focus. I need to change my self-talk. Okay, cool. Now we're going to go into manifestation and how to get whatever you want in life. I taught Kashawn this on one of our result coaching calls. I think it was our second call together a few weeks ago. I'm not going to bring up the board, but we have a result that you want. Okay. You want to lose 100 pounds. You want to lose 30 pounds. You want to have a sexy girlfriend, a sexy wife, a sexy husband. You want to have a beautiful family. You want to have a shredded six pack. You want to make a six-figure business, a seven-figure business, right? Yeah, the power of the tongue. You like that, right? Why dogs breathe out of their tongue, right? They don't can't sweat out of their skin, right? So that's why they pay. But we are so grateful that we don't have to go like that because we sweat out of our skin, right? It's beautiful. So, how to manifest and get the results you want in any area of life, okay? You got the result, six-figure business, seven-figure business, beautiful romantic relationship, beautiful marriage, kids, whatever, house, car, six pack, lose the weight. You got the result. You have your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. I'm sure you got your super conscious, your subconscious, your conscious mind. You have these, okay? This is practical manifestation. This isn't woo-woo new age, like, ooh, magic. Oh, let me read your chakras and give you some tarot cards. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about bringing practicality around manifestation in the sense of you got a result that you want. Okay, seven-figure business, Brian's about to become a multimillionaire. He probably already is, but he's going to make $1 million. We got, Alex, he's going to become a super successful real estate professional or investor. We got all of you big ballers, Kashawn, and Helen are about to build the biggest insurance agency in Los Angeles. They're about to crush it, right? You have this result you want. Okay. So you need to have so much confidence and certainty that you're going to get that result, not only consciously, but you need to rewire it so much that it goes into your subconscious, right? So the whole idea is it's to the level to extent of belief, right? I'm sure you guys have thought, and I'm sure you guys have heard. I'm seeing if I can just pull it up right now. But the book called Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. All right, I'm sure you guys have heard of it, listened to it, or maybe you'll get the idea. The idea is think and grow rich, right? One of the chapters in the book is called belief. To and let's say in the Bible, right? We have the Bible right here. Okay, right? We Jesus says if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say move to that mountain, move from here to there, right? He's talking about what? The power of belief, right? Faith as small as a mustard seed, right? To the level of your faith, you will be able to move mountains, right? Now, obviously, I don't know if you guys have ever moved a mountain, but I haven't, but we've moved mountains in our life. They might not be physical mountains, but you overcame that breakup. You overcame that financial struggle. You overcame whatever challenges you've had in your life. And it comes down to the level of belief. Do you believe you can do it? So what I'm talking about is you got this result. You want to lose 30 pounds, 100 pounds, get the six pack, build a six-figure business, build a seven-figure business, whatever result. It's to what level of confidence, belief, and certainty you have that you're going to accomplish that. So on a scale of 1 to 10, if you're at a 1 or 0 or 3, it's not going to work. But if you're at 10 out of 10, you work, you practice, you wire your brain to have more confidence, more certainty, more belief that that's going to happen. It has already happened. It's just a matter of time before God gives it to me. It's already happened in the meta universe. It's just a matter of time before it happens in this universe. It's already done. There's already a version of myself that has the six pack, has the beautiful family, has the $1 million business. It's just a matter of time before it manifests in reality because I'm certain it's already done. If you have a 10 out of 10 conviction, certainty, and belief it's already done, it goes from your conscious mind, which is you guys listening to me right now, to your subconscious. Because naturally you live out your subconscious, right? That's childhood trauma. That's, how your parents raised you, right? That's the nurture versus nature psychology, right? Like how your genetics and how you were raised, right? How that subconscious mind you actually and it actually unravels in how you live your life in relationships, in business and finances and health, right? Whatever you viewed as a child, right? That's in your subconscious mind. You consciously are aware of it, but it's in your subconscious and you naturally act it out as you get older, right? And so this is rewiring from the conscious to the subconscious mind by increasing your confidence and certainty in whatever result you want, right? So hopefully you guys are tracking with me. Let me know if you have any questions on that because I know it's a little bit. I'm not doing it on a board because I don't want to, go too much into it. I know it's a little bit of a complex situation. I hope you guys understand it. But let me know if you have any questions real quick. Anybody? Okay. Helen, Michael, Sean. Cool. I want you guys put in the chat right now where you're at. Where you're at, Javier, my brother. Big Mar, my brother. Eric, my brother. Where you guys at? Mood meter. -10 to a 10. Where are you guys at? Put in the chat right now. Put in the chat. Where are you at? -10 to 10. Where you at? 7.5. Michael, 8, Alex, Kashawn, 7, 4. Brian, man, what the hell, bro? Why you ruining the vibe, man? Come on, what the hell, bro? What the fuck? No. Cool, 4, 4. All right, so let's think right now. Let's do it right now. Live action. Again, we have the quote. What do I need to do within myself or my environment to change my mood or emotions? Again, what do I need to do within myself or my environment to change my mood or emotions? So let's do it right now, guys. For you guys, if you guys are able to, if you guys can hear me, let's dance. Stand up and start clapping and dance. Or if you guys are sitting down, clap, dance. Celebrate like you just won the lottery. Just imagine with me for a second. You just won the lottery. You just lost the 100 pounds. You just got that sexy girl. You just had that beautiful child. You just got married. You just went on the vacation to Miami or the Bahamas. Close your eyes. Imagine it for a second. Change your body. Even if you're sitting down, clap. Dance for a second. Oh yeah. There we go, Kashawn. Yeah. All right, smile. Blessings, testimony. Follow, 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 follow. Here you go. This year. Good news. Thank the money. All right. All right. All right. Let me know if that changed any of your guys' emotions, right? Exactly. Just within a matter of seconds. Okay. That's what I'm saying. Change your body. Okay. You change your focus, change your self-talk. Boom. Yeah, music is great. Music is a drug, right? Especially if it's positive music, not death metal. But you're listening to positive, some of you guys are, religious, you're Christian, you listen to some worship music. Some of you guys are more OG. I know Brian listened to some like Tupac or Snoop Dogg or I don't know, Beastie Boy. But like whatever, dance, you can do push-ups, you can do burpees, change your body, change your focus, practice gratitude, pray, whatever your forte is, right? Change your physiology. So again, mood meter. All right, so I want to, for the sake of time, I want to go quickly over. Let's see. There's a lot of complex stuff that I don't have the time to explain to you guys in a real thing. But I'm glad you guys, Beastie Boys. Hey man, look at me, white boy, Vanilla Ice. Right? Okay. But all right, yeah. So we want to live at these higher emotions, right? So when you realize you're in these negative emotions, you want to raise them. Okay, let's move over from emotional mastery to and manifestation and all that great stuff we just covered with personal development to back to the physical body because we covered on the last group call, the last live training. The physical health is the foundation of your life. If you don't have your physical health, you're not going to be able to build $1 million business, Brian. You're not going to be able to, Helen and Kashawn, you guys are not going to be able to be the number one insurance agents in the whole world, right? You guys aren't going to be able to lose the weight, right? So, or well, obviously, if you're not in the greatest physical health, right? If you have cancer or the flu, it's not hard to go hit your cardio or eat chicken and rice, as an example. Okay, so we're gonna go over two best lifestyle habits are exercise and sauna. Okay. Exercise and sauna for blood, it lowers blood pressure, it lowers your resting heart rate. If you met, there's studies that men who use sauna, I think women as well. I don't know why it's sexist like that, right, ladies? Come on now. Men use sauna 4 to 7 times a week, reduce 50% chance of death by sudden cardiac arrest, right? So if you do sauna for 20 minutes, 4 to 7 days a week, you reduce your risk of cardiac arrest by 50%, right? So hot exposure, hot exposure. There's more studies on hot exposure saunas than there is on cold showers and cold exposures. There's a lot more credibility right there. So if you're gonna pick one or the other, I think both are great. You can take cold showers a lot easier than you can go hit the sauna, but there's a lot of scientific studies on the benefits of sauna. So again, 20 minutes, 4 to 7 days a week is the recommendation. You can lower hypertension, lower your risk of stroke, right? As you guys make that more money, Kashawn, Alex, Brian, Michael, as you make more of that money, I mean, hey, there's a lot of benefits to just go hitting that sauna 20 minutes a day for not hot tub, not as good. It's not is there's not as much studies on it. Plus, you're bathing in chlorine. So if it's freshwater, great. There's a lot of benefits as far as muscle relaxation, but specifically when we're talking about it's the ability to sweat and it's also the temperature because a hot tub only gets to like 100, 105 temp typically. You want to get these results, you want to get your sauna up to 163, okay, Fahrenheit. So you need to get the sauna higher than a hot tub would go. And then I know they actually covered it during the training that it's not as good. Okay. So it's hot exposure. Number two, cold exposure. I've been taking a cold shower every day. I actually bought my cold plunge. I just haven't gotten the chance to set it up. But there's so many benefits of cold exposure, guys. You increase your focus, your concentration. You increase so much dopamine in your system. Guys, just chat GBT, Google the facts around the benefits of taking a cold shower or cold plunge. Highly recommend. All of you guys should be doing a cold shower bare minimum every day. If not a cold plunge. There's so many benefits of doing it, and you guys can do it like that. All can take a cold shower. Again, we agreed you guys aren't soft. You guys aren't lazy. You guys are high achievers and you want more out of life. If you want a natural drug, do a cold shower in the morning and you will feel like you just bumped some natural cocaine. You're about I'm ready to hit these. Man, I feel good. Like it sucks in the moment, but just do it for a couple, 1 to like 3, 5 minutes, and you're gonna feel good. All right, Alex, peace out, brother. I'll send you the recording if you want to check out rest of it. Got your family. Take care. But let's ru keep running through it because I want to cover just a little bit more before we end the call, guys. Um, Sleep. Okay. Talk about it, Michael. Isaac, if you're watching this, a lot of my clients that I notice, I asked them in my client consultation form, especially with fitness and health coaching, is with sleep. Sleep is the foundation of your life. You shouldn't even be prioritizing nutrition or exercise if your sleep is crap, right? You need to be getting bare minimum 7 hours of sleep. 7 to 9 is the recommendation. Eight's the average, right? But 7 to 9 is because your sleep. So sleep is the pillar, foundation, okay, of your health, your life, your energy. Sleep is, okay. Then exercise and nutrition sit on top of sleep. Reason being is if you don't get enough sleep and you're still exercising and nutrition, it's basically a waste of time, right? Um, Absolutely. Takeaways from the meeting, Dan, you are a savage. Cool. So sleep's the foundation. You got nutrition and you got your exercise on top. The reason why is if you don't get enough sleep, you guys won't lose body fat because your body, why does your body store body fat is because it's in survival mode, right? It's storing those extra calories and carbs that you've eaten through the days, weeks, months, and years, and it's storing it for later when you're surviving, right? When you're starving, right? Because our bodies haven't adjusted from 50, 100, 200 years ago when we didn't have abundant food like we do nowadays, right? So the body naturally stores body fat for days that you're not going to have as much food, even though now we live in a society where typically you're never going to go without food, right? At least here in America. So grateful to be here, right? So the but when your body doesn't get enough sleep, your cortisol levels are higher, right? Your cortisol levels are higher, and you're gonna have higher stress hormone, which is cortisol, and your body's gonna be more in survival mode, and it's gonna hold on to that body fat, even if you're exercising and eating clean and in a calorie deficit. So for you guys that are trying to lose body fat and get shredded, you guys need to be prioritizing at least 7 hours of sleep. Okay. No, and then exercise. If you guys are looking to build muscle, right? You and recover, even just recovery, like you want to like feel good every single day. If you're not getting enough sleep, you're not going to fully recover mentally, physically, your body, your muscles. You're not going to build new muscle tissue, right? So your exercise is kind of pointless as well if you're not getting enough sleep, if you're trying to build muscle. So 7 to 9 hours is the recommendation. And also for you guys who are trying to make as much money as possible, Michael, Sean, Helen, I mean, all of you, Haley, all of you guys, Reno, right? If you're trying to be as intelligent as possible, right? As intelligent as possible and have cognitive function, you guys need to be getting enough sleep because it dramatically is going to affect how intelligent you are, your memory, your short-term memory, your long-term memory. You guys just think the last time you only got 4 hours of sleep, how optimal were you the next day, right? And so it's a lot of people, they just slack off only getting 5 or 6 or less, or maybe not the greatest quality of sleep, and it's dramatically impacting your income, your relationships, your memory, like, and you're increasing your chances for Alzheimer's as you get older. So many different things. So sleep is important. This is by Dr. Matthew Walker, right? We just that spoke on this. Actually bought this book. He's the number one guy in the country when it comes to sleep. This is a New York Times bestseller, Why We Sleep. He's the professor on sleep at Berkeley College in the Bay Area, right? And he's a professor on sleep. He has his book, Why We Sleep. And this is the guy that was speaking about the importance of sleep. And there's just so many studies on why you guys, as far as aggression, car accidents, death by car accidents, why lack of sleep causes all that. So, hey, Sean with the Berkeley, shoo, shoo, shoo. Woo, woo, woo. Cool. So here's 5 quick tips to improve your sleep. Number one, regular that this is by the author of this book, the professor, top professor in the world on sleep. Is number one, sleep regularity. You want to be going to bed and waking up at a consistent time, right? So if you're consistently waking up or going to bed at 10, waking up at 6, right? You want a consistent bed and nighttime routine, I'm sure, or at schedule, right? I'm sure you guys have heard that before, but are you practicing it? Number two, keep it cool. You want to keep your room 67 Fahrenheit or less. If you can, buy an AC, whatever you can do to keep your room at 67 degrees or less. I'm sure you guys can relate. How good was your sleep last time you were in like an 80-degree room? If you guys have ever slept in Florida, right? Like, or it's right. The sleeping in the heat sucks. Okay. Number three, So it's there's scientific studies on sleeping in cooler rooms allows you to sleep deeper and have a higher quality of sleep. Okay. Um, Number three is darkness. You want to have your room as dark as possible, right? So buy some blackout curtains or get a face mask, right? Like your boy, all right? You ain't messing with my sleep, bruh. Hey, I don't know where the haters are because I can't see them. Amen. Amen. All right. So, guys, you want to black out your room, okay? Number four, caffeine. If you guys are gonna drink caffeine, I love caffeine. During the cleanse, I didn't do no caffeine, but I love me some coffee. All right, I'll admit it. I ain't Jesus. All right, I ain't perfect. I love me some black coffee. Hey, but at least it's black. I ain't putting no cream or no bullshit, no sugar, no, just black. Like black. All right. But caffeine, you're gonna limit to 2 cups of coffee, max. 2 cups of coffee, max. You're gonna cut off caffeine 12 hours before you go to bed. That way, caffeine doesn't affect your sleep because we know it has I believe, a 6 hour half-life, right? So if you have 200 milligrams of caffeine at 12 hours from then, you're still gonna have 50 milligrams in your system, right? So you need to cut off caffeine, limit it to 2 cups of coffee or a certain amount, and you want to, yeah, exactly. I'm sure you guys can resonate with if you had some coffee at 4 p.m., 8 p.m., right? You're gonna not have the greatest sleep and you have a crappy next day. Okay. Number five is don't use alcohol or THC, marijuana, smoking that ganja. All right, being like Snoop Dogg. Don't be using this is THC or alcohol to aid your sleep. Guys can chat GBT, AI, Google this yourself. THC is proven to hinder your deep sleep, your REM sleep. Might make you sleep faster, but your quality of sleep is going to be trash because REM sleep is one of the most important parts of your sleep. And THC is no bueno for your deep REM sleep. Okay. And same thing with alcohol. You might drink some alcohol, you might be go snug, real light, but like, dude, it's gonna mess up your sleep. You're not gonna have the quality of sleep. Melatonin, yeah, you can take melatonin. Melatonin's naturally in your body, right? But you don't want to. As you get older, you get naturally less melatonin produced in your body, right? That's why old people, like elderly, typically have trouble sleeping. So they typically take on more melatonin. But you don't want to over rely on it per se. Okay. But as you get older, you naturally produce less melatonin, so supplements become more prevalent for people that are elderly age, not in their 30s, but in their 50s and 60s and 70s. I'm sure Dan probably doesn't take melatonin, but I'm sure he probably needs to take more melatonin versus a 25 or 35-year-old. Yeah, as you get older, you naturally produce less melatonin, so a melatonin supplement can be beneficial. If unless you're more up towards that age, my personal recommendation is only take it if absolutely needed. Don't over rely on it and take it every single day. Um, cool. Beliefs. Okay, we're gonna go over beliefs. Okay, become an expert investigator, become an expert of your life, become an expert of all major areas of life, right? So you need whatever area, like become an expert in. The whole idea is be a curiosity, right? So become an expert in your health, become an expert in your time management, become an expert in emotional mastery, become an expert in spirituality, become an expert in finances and insurance, like every single aspect of your life, become an expert in. And so that you're coming from a mindset of like, I'm going to study this area because this area is important to my life. And so I'm going to become educated in that life. Um, cool. Believe in your own experience. Test everything. Try it with your own body and become an expert in yourself, right? And investing in other people. So you're learning from great people, right, on whatever subject, and you're applying it yourself. Don't be the type of person who's like, oh, I've heard about that keto diet. I've heard about that religion. I've heard about church. I've heard about, those self-help books. I've heard about those events. I've heard about whatever. But you've never done it. You have an opinion, but you've never even done it. So your opinion is invalid. Do you agree? Like if you never have actually, like, I'm almost saying to the extreme of like heroin or like doing, like, obviously there's examples where you don't need to try it to knock it, right? But a lot of things in life you should actually experiment and try out to understand, to have that deep awareness within yourself, right? A lot of the stuff that we've been talking about as far as fasting, detoxing, cleansing, the sleep, the melatonin, right? Like don't just take my word for it. Actually practice it so you have your own experience and become and realize this is your body, this is your life experience. Like become an expert in your life using this stuff. Don't just have an opinion on it and you've never done it, right? So that's the whole point there. Um, Change your life by changing your beliefs, right? If you dramatically, especially, Helen made clear, she's a believer in the good book. I believe that's what she's putting down in the comments. Um, she's, a Christian and it's beautiful. Love it. You could think about somebody who is that was a drug addict or homeless, or let's just say somebody who wasn't not saved, right? A prior believer. They dramatically change their beliefs if they fully adopt the Gospels or the good book. They dramatically change their beliefs, and that's one of the reasons, arguably, they completely change their life. Because if you change your beliefs, you change your life. Change your beliefs around money, you'll completely change your life around money. Change your beliefs around health, you'll dramatically change your life around health, right? So it's all dictated by what you believe, right? So definitely, you want to be aware of empowering and limiting beliefs. So we're going to go over that real quickly is what think about for yourself. If you guys need to take notes or think about it, do it later. But think about what disempowering beliefs do you have about health? Okay. Disempowering, meaning it's limiting you from being healthier, having more energy, having more discipline, having a six pack, looking better, looking cleaner, living longer, adding more life to your years, right? Some examples of some disempowering beliefs I have with the Life Mastery event is I don't like cooking. It's a waste of time. It's a pain in the neck. That's a disempowering belief towards being healthy. Okay? Yeah, if you're rich, you have the money to, you can hire a chef. Right? You can meal prep, you can hire meal prep, you can spend $1,000, $2,000 a month. You can do that. You have the resources to do it, and I'm all for it. But until then, like, dude, if you want to be healthier, you gotta cook, bro. And having that empowering belief, that disempowering belief is gonna hold you back from being healthier. So that's an example of one I had. Yeah, well, you're a lady, Helen. I'm just not. I used to be a chef at Panda Express. Big Mar used to know. I used to hook him up with some Panda, back in high school. I used to be a chef at Panda Express. I'm not saying that that's the healthiest option. This is years ago, back in high school. Um, but like I cooked, but I mean, I just not, it's not me. I don't necessarily enjoy. But like obviously, you can learn to love it. You can change that belief because even that's a discipline. You can build. I love cooking. I love cooking. I can make it enjoyable. I can dance while I cook. I can whatever when I cook. Another disempowering belief I had is it's harder to be ripped, disciplined, and all that. They're living out in the country, right? Because it was a lot easier for me when I lived in Los Angeles, when I lived in California, in the warmer weather. It was a lot easier for me just to stay ripped year round. But when I'm living up here north in Idaho, right, and it gets cold for 6 months out of the year, man, I just want to slack off. It's harder to walk. It's harder to exercise outside. It's harder, you wear more clothes, so you don't need to like. That's a limiting belief. It's a disempowering belief for me being in better shape, right? So I ask you guys, it's a journal exercise you guys should meditate, pray on, spend some time getting some self-awareness. What disempowering beliefs do you have around nutrition, exercise, sleep, your overall health? And number two is building empowering beliefs, right? Think about back in your life, tell the age you are right now when you had the greatest results in your health, right? And this you could use this exercise for any area of life, but specifically we're talking about health right now. Think about what empowering beliefs you had around exercise, around sleep, around nutrition, right? Or if you guys don't have really that much reference, think about, okay, what empowering beliefs could I have about exercise, about nutrition, about sleep, right? So I challenge you guys, or I ask you guys to journal on that and spend some time on that whenever you get a chance to think about this, right? Yes, absolutely. Why must I change now? So we talked about this before, guys. Tony Robbins has a quote that humans don't change because of their lack of capabilities. They don't change because they lack the proper motivation. Again, human beings don't change because they lack the capability. They don't change because they lack the proper motivation. And what that means is leverage. Why? If there was a gun to your loved one's head and they said you need to lose 30 pounds in the next month or 2 months, could you do it? You would if they were serious and this is a tragic scenario, but because there was enough pain, there is enough motivation, there's enough why. It's the same thing with finances, the same thing with romance, the same thing with area of life. Any area of life, you need to have a strong enough why that makes you cry, a strong enough motivation, a strong enough leverage within yourself to create the changes that you're looking to see. So Big Mar for Alex, we know we talked about Alex. Um, like we being a leader for his family, for his wife, for his kids, like they follow his lead, right? So the healthier he is, the healthier they're going to be, right? You need to have a strong why of why you're looking to create this change financially, with your health, with relationships, with any area of life. You need to have a strong why because if you don't have a strong enough why, you're not going to change. That is the fuel. You have an airplane, right? You have an airplane that, and you're going from LA to New York, right? LA is where you're at right now financially or in your health or relationships. New York is where you want to go, as an analogy. Okay. You got the plane. That's, let's say, your game plan, your strategy. But the why is the fuel inside the gas tank. If you don't have enough gas in your gas tank, you ain't going to make it to New York. You're going to crash and burn. You're going to, in South Dakota, depressing in Missouri. You're going to die in Missouri. You're going to crash. Right? You're never going to make it to New York. Okay. So that's, you need to have a strong enough why. Okay. That's your jet fuel. So that's all of you guys, whatever area of life, fitness and health, business, finances, you guys need to have that why. Okay. We're going into peer group and proximity. Who you surround yourself is who you become. So choose wisely, right? You need to look around. If you're around five broke people, you will be the sixth. If you're around five overweight people, you will be the sixth. If you're around five drug addicts, you will be the sixth. If you're around five people who are divorced and cheating on their wives or husbands and alone and depressed or whatever, you will be the sixth. But if you're around five millionaires, five insurance agents, around five successful realtors or business owners, entrepreneurs, you're around five ripped people, five people who have beautiful relationships and marriages, you will be the sixth, right? Because proximity is power, right? It's the quote, Jim Rohn quote, Tony Robbins quote. It's a self-development quote, through the ages, through the years, centuries, right? Is you are like the five people you surround yourself with. And Alex Hormozy talks about it's not even about the five people you surround yourself. It's the five people that you compare yourself to, that you seek their approval from, right? Who are the five people that you're like, man, I'm in good shape compared to them. I'm making good money compared to them. I'm in good relationship compared to them, right? But if you raise your standard around the people that you're hanging around with, as for or compare yourself to as far as fitness and health, energy, finances, money, relationships, you're going to elevate, right? Because you're comparing yourself to a higher standard in those areas, right? You can think of you're comparing yourself to five people who make $20,000 a year, like versus five people who make 100K or a million a year, right? It's going to be completely different. You're going to be like, man, I need to get on their level, right? The same thing with fitness, same thing with everything. Okay, the proximity. So you need to get around the right people. And that's kind of what we're doing here with the tribe, the brotherhood. We are, people that are personal development. We are people that are high achievers. We are people who want more in every single area of life, who want to live up to their full potential, want to live out to their purpose. The reason why God put them on this earth, to have more energy, to have more health, right? It's surrounding yourself with like-minded people. Right, versus going to the bar or going to the arcade or going to the movies or going where you're just people who are complacent and lazy and not trying to grow in areas. But if you try to put yourself in areas where people are growing, growth minded, working on developing themselves, making money, great relationships, great health, right? It's gonna be better, right? Uh, Lastly, we're gonna go over intimate relationships real quickly, guys. Okay, you're either in one of these four places in relationships. You're either not in a relationship, you're not in a relationship but wanting one. You're in a relationship, but you don't want to be in it. You're in a relationship and you want to make it better, or you're not in a relationship and you don't want one. You're either in one of those four places with your intimacy. Agreed? You can drop in the comments. You agree? Yeah. Okay, cool. Sean, appreciate your authenticity and vulnerability sharing, right? So you're in one of those areas, not in a relationship but wanting one, in a relationship but don't want to be in one, in a relationship and want to make it better, or you're not in a relationship and you don't want one. You're like, I'm not participating. So growth is life. That's another growth is life, growth is life, growth is life. So ask yourself, where are you at right now? Like Kashawn shared. Okay. Alex wants to make it better. Kashawn is not in a relationship. I believe he wants one. That's one of the reasons we're working together on the personal development stuff. Create changes. Okay. Number five, uh, Brian, I don't know what number five is, but number four was you're in a relationship, you're not in a relationship, but you don't want to be in one. It's totally understandable. So you got to think about where you're at right now. Okay. And then where you're at currently. People will do more to keep what they have than to get what they want. Mm. Let that sink in. People will do more to keep what they have than to get what they want. Let me say it one more time. People will do more to keep what they already have than to get what they truly want. Okay? So think about where you're at in relationships. Think about this could be in any area. You want whatever career, you want whatever money, you want whatever relationship. You're already in one, but but you want something different. But most people are willing just to settle with what they already got financially, health, relationships, whatever, than actually to get what they truly want. Because they're coming from fear, they're coming from scarcity, they're coming from like, man, it's I don't want to lose this thing because this is safe, this is secure, this is good, but I truly want that. Most people are going to settle for what they already have. So run away from pain and run towards pleasure. I'm sure you guys have heard the analogy. You're driven by one or two of these emotions. You're either driven by pleasure or pain. Most people, yeah, raise our standards. Amen. We are high performers. We're people that want to live up to our full potential, live up to our purpose. We are maximizers. There's satisfiers and maximizers. Satisfiers typically settle for whatever they're satisfied with. Maximizers are people that are like, you know what? I'm grateful for what I have, but I want to maximize this life. I want to maximize my health, my finances, my relationships. I want more. I want the best. I deserve the best. I want the best, right? And I'm not saying there's an even balance of those two. Um, but yeah, we're high performers. We want more in every area. So you're either running away from pain or running towards pleasure. For you guys who are trying to lose weight, for you guys who are trying to take care of your health, if you had a heart attack, you got diagnosed with high cholesterol, diabetes, right? You had a stroke, somebody just died in your life, like from a health issue right in front of your eyes because they were overweight or they didn't take care of their health, that's pain. And pain causes you to change. The sad thing is a lot of people don't change until something like that happens, especially with their health or their relationships. They don't change until now their wife or husband wants a divorce. They want to leave them. Their kids are crying because you're not being a good parent, right? Your finances, you're starting to go broke, right? That pain is much more of a motivator for most people than pleasure, desire, like the goal, right? The analogy is, would you run faster towards $1 million or would you run faster running away from a lion trying to rip your head off? Right? A lot of people are going to run a lot faster away from that lion trying to kill them and eat them versus towards winning the lottery and making money. Right? So, in relationships, where are you at currently? In intimate relationships, where are you at? Where do you want to be? Think about it. Journal on it, pray on it, like spend some time on it. This is what's actually going to change, right? Is where you're at, where you want to be in intimate relationships. If you're single, do you want a relationship? What does that look like? If you're in a relationship and you want to still be in it, what does that look like? If you're in a relationship and you don't want to be in it anymore, like what do you want? Okay? Where you're at, where do you want to be in intimate relationships? Okay? Close the gap. Okay? You need to think about remember the why. You need to have a strong enough why to create this change. So you need to think about why you want to change this area of your life. Why is it important for you? That's the jet fuel. That's the most important part. Okay, so do that as well. So you got where you're at, where you want to be, and why is it important for you to create that change. Now, you need to think about this. What do you need to do? And more importantly, who do you need to become in your relationship or to attract the relationship you want? What do you need to do? And more importantly, who do you need to become to get that? And if you're married or if you're in an intimate relationship and you want to stay in it, okay, who do you need to become? What do you need to do to get the relationship you want, to improve it? Right? Who do you need to become? What do you need to do? And most importantly, why? Why is it important for you to do that? If you're single and you're trying to get a better relationship, who, where are you at? Where do you want to go? Why is it important for you to change? Who do you need to become to attract that woman, to attract that man, to attract them into your life? What do you need to do? Maybe you need to put yourself out there more. Maybe you need to let people know you're available. Maybe you need to go to places where those women are actually at. Those quality of women that have those qualities are actually hanging out, right? Same thing with men, right? Where those guys are hanging out, where are they actually hanging out? Those qualities. You actually need to put yourself out there. You actually need to introduce yourself. You actually need to let people know you're available. And who do you need to become? Because you're going to attract to the quality and to the level that you're at, right? So the better you take care of your health, you're going to attract a more attractive woman or man. The more you're attractive, right? And take care of your health. Same thing with finances. Same thing with mental, emotional, spiritual development. The more you develop yourself, you're going to attract higher quality people. Not only intimate relationships, but friends, family, peer group, all that great stuff. Cool. So that's that. Uh, Lastly, guys, I know we're going over a lot of calls, a lot of things, but I really want to finish this stuff. So I appreciate all you guys being here. This is the last part that we're going to go over. This is going to transform your life. So definitely take these notes. This is more on the health section. Okay. These are the seven gifts of health. Seven gifts. Write these down if you guys can on your notes app or on a piece of paper. This is seven gifts of health. Highly recommend. Okay. Number one is vital breathing. Okay. Vital breathing. That is the foundation of your life. You can go a month or a few weeks without food. You can go a couple days without water. But how long can you go without oxygen? Number one is vital breathing. So a breath. We got a lot of different breathing exercises, but the one I want you guys to focus on is a 1-4-2, a 1-4-2, a 1-4-2. What that is you breathe in one count. So that's we're gonna use 8 seconds. We'll use 10 because 10 is easy math. So breathe in 10 seconds, 10. Okay, hold times four. So if you breathe in for 10, you're gonna hold it for 40. So breathe in for 10, hold it for 40 for the sake of time, out for 20. So it's a 1-4-2. So if you breathe in for 8, you hold it for 32, you blow out for 16. You get it? So write down 1-4-2. That's a breath thing. The technique. Practice it 3 times a day times 10 reps. That is going to allow your body to absorb a whole bunch of oxygen, and it's very good for your health, your blood circulation, all that. Number two is drinking water and living foods. You need to be drinking at least half your body weight in fluid ounces. 60 to 70% of your body is water. So a lot of you guys aren't having energy, aren't being able to get your penis up. You men, I'm sorry, you women. But women, it causes problems as well if you don't have enough hydration. If we're talking about sexual stuff, yeah, I'm sure you can imagine. If you're talking about just migraines, headaches, right? Just your overall health. If you're not drinking enough water, if you're waiting until you're thirsty, you're already super dehydrated. Okay. You need to chug. I chug 5 glasses of water first thing in the morning. 5 glasses soon as in the morning. You just went 8 hours without water. So water is really important. And then you need to sip on it and chug throughout the day. Sip and chug. Sip because your body can only absorb so much water at once, but you want to make sure you're fully hydrated. And then you can weave off towards the night so you don't have to use the restroom so much at night. And then live foods. Yeah, yes. Salt is good for ex absorption. I use potassium as well. It's called a cream of tartar. I use a little bit of baking soda as well. Balances your pH levels. I use Himalayan salt personally, a lot. So yeah, for hydration as well. You want to electrolytes. Okay. And then you want to eat a lot of lively foods. This is vegetables. This is your celery, zucchini, spinach, kale, fruits, right? You want to eat live foods. The goal is to eat 70% of your diet from vegetables and mainly vegetables, but fruits as well. You want to get a lot of lively foods because those foods are going to hydrate you as well, and they're most nutrient dense. Number three is you want healthy oils and fats. This is avocados, nuts, olive oil, coconut oil, right? You want healthy oils and fats. You don't want trans fat, saturated fat. If you guys, you should, I mean, you guys who haven't been the healthiest over the years, same thing with you if women as well is if you haven't gotten your blood work done, you guys should get your blood work done. See where your cholesterol level's at. Because trans fat and saturated fat is going to give you high cholesterol, right? You want to stay, yeah, you want to stay from canola oil, corn oil. Yeah, you want to stay from all that. You want to eat healthy oils, coconut, olive oil, right? Sesame oil in moderation, healthy nuts, almonds, cashews, avocados, all that great stuff. Number four is alkalize. Go green, go green, go green. Alkalize your body. So you got acidic and alkalize. You want your body to be an alkalize, right? Acidic is acid. So that's a lot of people are addicted to acids. That's soda, that's chips, that's energy drinks, that's coffee, that's, a whole bunch of acids, right? So your body's become more acidic. And that's what happens when your body's acidic. It actually eats away your organs, your bones, your cells, and that eventually turns into disease. So you want to alkalize your body. That's eating a lot of greens, right? And then your body's more alkalized and you're going to live longer and have more health and energy from alkalizing. Number five is aerobic exercise. Okay, you want to challenge your body. So full body strength training 3 days a week is what I recommend. Obviously, you guys know my bread and butter. I've coached over 1,000 clients. A lot of those were fitness and health clients. I was a personal trainer beforehand as well. Um, there's a lot of benefits for testosterone, for raising your metabolism, for stronger bones, for so many things on strength training. So this could be calisthenics, body weight training, this could be resistance bands, this could be lifting weights, at least 3 days a week. If you're doing it 3 days a week, I would recommend full body. Okay. 3 days a week, you want to do at least 30 minutes of cardio. cardiovascular because your heart, right? Your resting heart rate, you want to have a strong, healthy heart, right? This isn't just about losing body fat. You want to have a healthy heart, and so how you do that is by doing aerobic exercise. So do cardio at least 3 days a week for 30 minutes and make it fun. You add music, add socializing, have friends, listen to music, right? Make it fun, right? So it's not boring, right? It can be 30 minutes of dancing as long as it's intense enough. I do a lot of basketball because I love basketball, right? So make it fun as well. Number six, the gift number six is structural alignment. So that's what we were talking about with the postural exercises right before you go into the chair. You want to, if you're going to sit down for a few hours, pigeon toe, tilt your toes in, right? You do the boom, you do these, right? Boom, boom. You want to warm up your upper back. Boom, you want to do the circles, right? That's just an example. You do the pigeon toe that activates your glutes. Ladies, you got that back, you got that butt, right? Guys, you want that butt too, right? So you want a pigeon toe, it activates your glutes, your pelvis. That way you don't have that lower back pain when you guys are doing all of your cold calls or sitting down for hours or sitting on the couch, right? And you want to do the circles, boom, and you want to do some of these too, right? That warm up your upper back so you don't have upper back pain, right? So gift number six is postural alignment. Posture is nothing to play with. If you don't take care of your posture, you're going to have neck pain, you're going to have upper back pain, you're going to have lower back pain, and pain is not fun, as you guys know. Gift seven is a directed mind and heart, right? We got direct to mind heart because this is your spirituality, this is coming from love, this is having a healthy mindset, emotions. That's why we went over emotion mastery. That dictates your health as well. If you're constantly frustrated and angry, cortisol levels, right, it's going to affect your sleep, it's going to affect so many things, right? You want to be in a positive mental and emotional state, so direct your mind, heart, and spirit, right? So connecting spiritually with whatever you believe in, your mindset, mental health, your emotional mastery. You want to have positive emotions because that actually dictates your health as well. The last section we're going to cover, guys, is four poisons. Okay. Four poisons. The number one poison, all right, forgive and forget, amen. Okay, is processed fats. Okay, this is again saturated fats, trans fats. It's going to come from fast foods. It's going to come from frozen foods. It's going to come from chips, right? On average, Americans consume 30 to 5 to 40% of their calories from fat, right? And that's why you're fat. That's why you're overweight. That's why you're obese because 35 to 40% of your food that you're eating comes from fats, right? So that we need to change that. You don't want to eat, especially unhealthy fats, right? As an example, like margarine, butter, cheese, vegetable oils, um, deep fried foods, right? All these unhealthy fats are gonna, clog your arteries, give you high cholesterol, and eventually kill you. So poison number one is processed fats. Number two is animal flesh, right? And I love meat because I love being jacked and being ripped and building muscle. So I still eat grass-fed and pasteurized chicken, right? Because it has a lot of, because you are what you eat eats, right? So if you're eating commercialized meat, right? A lot of that food they stuff them with a whole bunch of steroids. They eat a whole bunch of corn and a whole bunch of not good food, and you're absorbing that into your body, right? And that isn't the healthiest, right? Versus grass-fed and pasteurized chickens, they're eating grass-fed, they're eating grass, they're eating a lot healthier food, so you're absorbing that nutrients that's inside their meat, if that makes sense. There's a lot more that goes into that, but we'll keep it there for simple. Is if you are avoid meat. I'm not recommending going vegetarian necessarily. You can go that route if you want, but if you are going to eat meat, try to eat higher quality meat. Again, be intentional. If you're driving a Mercedes or a Lexus or a Lamborghini, you're probably putting that premium gas in there, right? So are you treating your body like a Lamborghini or a beat up, 1980 Ford? Like, are you like what type of gasoline are you putting in? So if you want to try to do healthier or higher quality foods or both organic vegetables and pasteurized meat, you want to try to aim for quality. I understand if you can't financially afford it sometimes or it's more expensive, that's understandable. But the best investment you can make in is your health, right? Because your health is the foundation of your life, right? Poison number three is dairy products. Avoid milk, cream, ice cream, cheese, yogurt, whey, casein. Right? I do some grass-fed whey protein, right? But you want a milk, right? You can look. We're the only animal in the whole animal kingdom that drinks another animal's milk. No other animal does that. And they try to lie to us that, milk is healthy. And maybe if you're doing milk from the farms, right? And it's not uh chemically advanced and all that like messed with. Maybe that's a little bit better. I'm not sure about the studies around that, but what we went over in Life Mastery is for the most part, avoid those things: ice cream, milk, cheese, and moderation. Let's say the 90-10 rule or the 80-20 rule. So primarily cut that stuff of your diet. If you're gonna do it, treat it like a celebration. Like, I'm gonna have some ice cream. This is like once a month. This is like not you're not drinking milk and eating cheese and ice cream every day. Poison four is acid addictions. So avoid excess caffeine, processed sugars, alcohol, white processed foods, processed vinegar, nicotine, drugs, uh, dramatically reduce or eliminate all of these. And then the last thing I'll go over, I know I said that was going to be the last thing, but Dr. Life, the quick story on him is this guy was like 54 years old, a doctor, and he got a picture took of him at a boat on vacation, and he just was like super overweight. And he realized that after being a doctor for 30 something years and he was looking like that, he's like, man, I need to change my life. And he made a decision right then and there to change his life. And he started becoming a professional bodybuilder. And he won a bodybuilding competition, straight shredded, 5% body fat, just ripped, lean at 60 years old. And ever since, that's been a big part of his practice is teaching hypertrophy and bodybuilding training. Yeah, and he now he's 87. He spoke at our event with the $5,000 event I attended with Tony Robbins, Life Mastery, and he spoke at 87 years old, and he's speaking from 2,200 people live at 87 years old, and he's talking about trying to live to 100, and the reason that he's been in great health now, but he's like he treated his body practicing traditional medicine as a doctor for a long time, but not neglecting his health, that he made the switch to get into functional medicine, which is what I do with prevention, right? Much more than just abs and biceps, even though that's a big part of it. Like, hypertrophy bodybuilding training is great. But with as far as longevity, it's a holistic approach versus just relying on the doctors. So, quick 10 tips that he gave is number one, protect your arteries, eliminate artery diseases, keep your blood sugar low. So you can get a blood sensor that detects your blood sugar. Number three, exercise, keep moving. He recommends doing flexibility training, stretching every day, doing cardio 150 to 200 minutes a week, which is quite a bit in my opinion, but that's like 2 to 3 hours a week. Strength train 3 to 4 days a week. Those are his recommendations for exercise. Four, eliminate body fat, right? The more body fat you have, especially visceral fat, which is if you guys have big stomachs, that's what it is, visceral fat, which is basically fat around your organs. The less body fat you have, the healthier you are, right? Absolutely, Haley. Shout out Haley, 100%. Five, keep good hormones. So get your estrogen and testosterone levels checked, men and women. You want to make sure you have healthy estrogen levels as a woman, healthy testosterone levels as men, and that changes a little bit as you get older. Blood, as far as your hormones, you want your hormones in check. Six, lead a purposeful life, right? Having a purposeful life where your life has meaning is going to allow you to live longer versus if you're not having a purpose in your life, you're not going to live as long, right? That makes sense. Seven, achieve great sleep, right? So sleep is a new performance drug, like that we were talking about earlier, at least 7 to 9 hours a day. And it's not only the quantity, it's the quality. I invested in an Aura Ring. It's the highest technology advancing your and tracking your sleep that you can buy. It's $300 to buy one of these, but it's really the greatest investment you can make as far as a tool. It tracks your REM sleep and deep sleep, really important. So quality of sleep as well. So that's an Aura Ring. You can message me about it if you have any questions on that. Eight, maintain good blood pressure. So you want less than a 120 over less than 80 blood pressure. So you can check your own blood pressure. Nine, build great relationships with family, friends, and colleagues. There's plenty of studies that people that are part of communities, part of churches, have great families and great friends live longer than people who don't, right? So isolation's not good. Having good relationships key to a long, healthy life. And 10 is spirituality, right? Having some sort of spiritual connection. Typically, people live longer when they believe in a higher power. Regardless if you believe that's true or not, there's plenty of studies that people who believe in a higher power and God live longer. They live happier lives. They live longer. If it's true or a placebo, I mean, that's up for you and what you believe in. But there is plenty of studies. You guys can look into it. People who have spiritual faith live happier and longer lives. So, okay, guys, we still have more to cover. So we'll do future trainings in June. But we just covered like 2 days. You guys got to keep in mind, This event was 12 hours a day for 5 days, 60 hours of training. Again, it was a $5,000 event. I paid 2,500 with the package I'm a part of. But there's a lot of information to cover. So I tried to cover as much as I could. That was like 2 days worth I covered in, like a little over an hour. So yeah, Javier, I appreciate you. Yeah, now quickly, I know I want to let you guys run. I know you guys are probably busy and got stuff to do. But this stuff was been transformational for me. Like out before these events I've been attending, I was like maybe a 6.5 emotionally out of 10, and now I'm at least an 8 out of 10. Like living in a beautiful state, living in connection, enlightenment, one with God, love, gratitude, celebration. I'm living at a much higher frequency. So the stuff I covered there is beautiful to help you elevate your emotional state. Personally, with my fitness and health, I was like a 7 out of 10. Not just abs, abs and biceps looking all good, but like my energy, my vitality, like how that part of my life has increased since I've been practicing all these things. Relationships with intimacy relationships. I went through a big breakup 4 years ago, or a year ago. We were together for 4 years, and that came with a whole bunch of baggage and just different things I had to deal with. But doing these different things that we've been talking about has helped me in intimate relationships and getting clear on where I'm at, what I want, who I need to become, all of these great things, right? So hopefully wherever you're at in intimate relationships, you guys can practice that as well. And proximity, right? Like I told you guys, I invested over $100,000 into mentorship, coaches, events over the years. I've been a part of all this stuff with Eric Thomas, Tony Robbins, and plenty of other coaches that guys, I highly recommend. The more you invest in coaching, mentorship, events, books, just growing yourself because you are your most valuable asset. Like, sure, save your money, invest in stocks, invest in crypto, invest in real estate. I know you guys are into real estate, right? Those are all beautiful 100%, but your health and your personal development is like a huge thing to never like neglect investing in. It's changed my life. The more I invest in myself, the more my life gets better in every single aspect. So I highly recommend. You will never outgrow your personal development. Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins teaches that you will never outgrow your personal development. So yeah, guys, quickly, do you guys have any questions? The net just so you guys questions or takeaways, I would love for you guys to share. And just so you know, the next live training group call is going to be next month. I'm about to go to Miami and cruise and travel to Nevada, visit my homie Big Mar and a whole bunch of friends and family, over there. But we'll be doing another one here in a few weeks just so you guys know. TRT, I mean, if your testosterone's low and you're above the age of 30, it's something to consider. The older you get, the more it makes sense. It's nothing to be ashamed of the older you get, but definitely, if it's not needed, it's not needed. Get your blood work done. That's medical advice from a professional doctor you would need advice on. But that's my two take. But do you guys have any questions or takeaways? I would love to hear any questions or takeaways from you guys. Does anybody want to share on mute or share at all? Yeah, appreciate it, Big Mar. Just so you guys know, that I'd offer both of these. Both, Kashawn, Brian, Alex. A lot of these people are on either my personal development, life transformational breakthrough coaching, where we go over a lot more of the personal stuff one on one. There's a lot more with Eric Thomas and the Tony Robbins and the life coaching and the high performance coaching certifications I have. Like, there's a lot more I can help with people on one on one. If you guys are ever interested in that, I'm not currently taking on clients for that. I will be in June, just because I'm about to go on a 2 week vacation. I'm about to, right? So I'm not taking on clients for that. But maybe later on, if you guys want more about that, and same thing with fitness and health coaching, I am taking on one more for the next day or two. If anybody does want to sign up, basically the drop body fat, build muscle, increase their health, energy, vitality rolling into summer. I will take on one more client before I leave for my cruise. If not, no worries. But if you guys ever are interested in how I can personally help you with any of that stuff as a guide, and actually give you structure and accountability and the whole nine, feel free to connect with me, however, on social media, Instagram, Facebook, or my private number if you guys have it. Yeah, appreciate you, Haley. Appreciate you, Javier. Appreciate you, Dan. Appreciate you, Helen. Appreciate you, Alex. Thank you for everyone for being here. I really appreciate your time. As Jim Rohn says, like, yeah, I know some of you guys didn't pay money to be here. Some of you guys did, as far as being part of my VIP premium clients. But for you guys who are, either way, you invested your time, which is the most. It's way more important than your money. You can get $100, $1,000, $10,000 back. You can get that back, right? Money you can get back, but your time is finite. Your time you're never going to get back. So I really am grateful for all of you guys being here. I hope that it was valuable for you and really message me privately or let me know what action steps you're going to take because change in your life comes from action. Like it's great to have intellectual knowledge, but emotional and identity level knowledge is what actually changes your life when you're actually practicing it, living it, breathing it, eating it, exercising it, practicing the mood meter, practicing the triad, practicing the sleep techniques or the sleep, practicing the cleansing, right? So just a real quick recap, guys. Um, yeah, absolutely. Awesome. You're gonna do a fast. I love that, Helen. Or yeah, recap on principles. Um, so yeah, you guys message me if you guys need help with anything. The recap is where, what we covered today is, the I hope you guys I fulfill your guys' promises. The three principles we came over is reclaiming your energy. We went over mastering your emotions, mind, and intimate relationships, and we went over living in a peak alignment with your purpose, right? So I hope you guys got that value. Feel free to reach out to me personally if you guys have any questions about any of this stuff. And yeah, feel free to. I'm gonna send you guys the recording. If you guys want to review it to take notes or actually apply this stuff. If you missed over anything, feel free to share this with your family and friends. Coworkers, clients, anybody that's into personal growth or health, and you think would get value from this. All right, guys, I won't keep you any longer. I'm really grateful for all of you guys, Dan, Chris, Haley, uh, Helen. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. Big Mar, Keith, Eddie, Brad. Appreciate all of you guys being here and taking your time. So God bless you guys. I'll talk to you guys later. My voice is cracking out, so I'll talk to you guys later. Much love. God bless.